If your kids have left home and you're feeling this ache in your chest, like you're sad, restless, a little lost, this video is for you. Empty nest grief isn't dramatic. It's real grief, my friend. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain why it hurts so much and what actually helps. I'm Andrea Daly, certified life coach, mom to 9 kiddos, and I help women find their footing in big life changes. So let's get into it. What I'm going to talk about in this video is how you can be proud and heartbroken at the same time. You can want freedom and miss the noise at the same time. And this doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. Let's focus on the idea of role loss. So, for years, you were the hub, the planner, the reminder, the fixer. I homeschooled my 9 children, so it was 30 ish years. I considered myself the domestic engineer and the epicenter of my home and my children's world. And so now, when you're either in the throes of a complete empty nest or starting the process of trying to embrace an empty nest, the days don't require you in the same way. And that can just feel like emptiness. But here's the thing is you're not grieving your child. You're grieving the version of you that was needed every day. That's a huge change. For me, when I was grieving my first, so when the first left, that was a huge deal for me. And I was like, gosh, 6 weeks into it, going, what the heck? Why am I still so intensely feeling this deep grief? Is there something friggin' wrong with me? And here again, hindsight 2020, gotta love that. It wasn't just that child, my first child, that I was grieving. For me, I had spent 20 years filling and building my nest. And when my first child left, the door closed on that season of filling my nest. And now the door opened to the season of emptying my nest. I was also grieving the end of this season and scared a little bit and uncomfortable of what this season was to bring. So, being aware that it's not just grieving your child, but it's the version of you in that season that was needed every day. And now it feels different. So, that was role loss. Let's look at rhythm loss. Okay, house sounds different. My house sounded different, especially when it went from a ton of kids to a couple of kids to no kids. Oh my gosh, I couldn't stand the silence. I used to blare music all the time. You don't know what to do sometimes, especially if you had kids that were getting off the yellow school bus or you had to go pick them up. 3:30 comes up and now what do? It just looks different. It feels different. You're at a loss, and even dinners feel weird. Oh my gosh. The more children that left my nest, the more I hated my dinner table. I had this big, huge Amish table to fit like 12 of us around the table. And as each child left over the years, there was more empty seats. I got to a place where I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to get some blow up dolls to start sticking in these seats, or I'm going to have to get a smaller table. And that's exactly what I did. I ended up getting a smaller table because the emptiness, every time I sat there, it was just like this stab to my heart. Grief shows up when structure disappears. That's so real. Okay, so we had just role loss, rhythm loss. What about connection loss? I know for me, having my kids 24/7, I knew friggin' almost everything that went on during the day. And we always had open communication. We were always talking about stuff. So when they went somewhere, we came back, we'd talk about it. They wanted to share with me. I went from that, and now I will share, there's a little bit of a fine line of just knowing and controlling. But I went from that to not knowing how their day went, sometimes for weeks because they wouldn't call. not seeing them walk through the door. That background mom radar that's in tune and in sense with all of your kids, all of a sudden it just goes quiet. And you're just sitting there going, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel so discombobulated? It's your nervous system. Your nervous system got used to that constant connection you had with your kids. And now it's in a place of recalibrating. And that can be really uncomfortable. So, I want to share with you some things that help. I have 3 action steps. One is to just simply name the grief, say it out loud. It's grief. It's real deep grieving. This is grief, and naming it can reduce the shame and realizing you're not alone in this. And not only you, but if you still have other children at home, they're grieving also. This is difficult for everyone. Action number 2, create a home to heart ritual. Here's what I mean by that. If you've always had, like, let's say your morning ritual is you take them to school and then you moved right into doing something else, or maybe it's after school. If you're finding yourself with this empty slot now and you kind of just sit there and percolate on grief, do something proactive. When the quiet hits, take like a short walk, just even a 7-minute walk with one uplifting song. Or maybe proactively make a plan to do something during that time when you know it's the same time every day. Sit down and have some tea, maybe journal or call a friend. You see, ritual turns pain into something you can hold. Action number 3, build your new identity in 3 small steps. I'm going to give you 3 things and just pick one thing to do each week. The 3 things are this: connection, purpose, and body. So, under connection, it's just that. Connect with other people, especially other women that might be going through or have already gone through this empty nest feeling. Schedule one coffee or walk. Again, just pick one of these a week. Don't go overboard unless you're an eager beaver, then you go, girl. The other step is, so we've got connection, purpose. Purpose. Intentionally add class to your week or volunteer or maybe do a project. I don't know about you, but I had this attic that if I didn't really want to deal with it, I would open door, throw in, close door really quick. After years of doing that, it was a friggin' mess. That's a project. And I think we always have a closet project, don't we, girls? Okay, last one is body. 10-minute movement or sunlight. Pick one of those this week. Just start somewhere. And remember, you don't replace your kids. That's not the purpose of this. You rebuild you. So, we talked about role loss, rhythm loss, and connection loss. Think about it. That's why it hurts. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. You're exactly where you're meant to be on your journey. Embrace it, be proactive, and understand. So if this hits home for you, you're not alone. Grab my free guide down below. And if you want support rebuilding this season, book a clarity call. I'm here.